Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Jack and Glenn channel. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. Tonight, I'm talking about Ready to Love the Ready to Love reunion part 2, right? Ready to Love reunion part 2. Once again, if you're new to this channel, we're going to review Ready to Love part 2. Talk about Married at First Sight. Sometimes we talk about Love is Blind. We talk about reality TV and relationships. So once again, if you like that, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, give us a big thumbs up. So let's get into it. Ready to Love, all right? Ready to Love reunion part number 2. We see, they talk about the whole Alexis situation, how Tommy says, Alexis, look, Alexis is gone. We're grown folks. Let's conduct ourselves and handle ourselves as grown people. Tommy wanted to talk to Lamar. He talks to Lamar about, his behavior, right? And his sexual conversations with the women. Do he think it was appropriate, or did he like the approach that he was making? Lamar was like, I could tweak my approach a little bit. The women just let Lamar know, look, dog, the way that you was going about it is not cool to us, wasn't cool for us. That's why kind of we let you go home, because none of the women felt uncomfortable. The women didn't like that conversation. They didn't like that sexual approach. Lamar was like, look, that approach is what I do, because again, I don't like the same old. I wanted to do something different. I want to make it different. I want to be able to branch off. I want to be able to the conversation has to be spicy for me. And he said he's spicy dudes who likes talking about sex. They wished him well, and hopefully he can find a date and get somebody else a little bit later. Then he goes on to talk to Jonathan, right? Jonathan mentioned it to Tommy. He said, look, I was reserved during the show. I was laid back. There's some conversations and things that I wasn't as vulnerable as I needed to be. I wasn't as open as I needed to be. I wasn't open about my ex-wife, wasn't open about my kids. I wasn't open about some things. I held back. I wasn't as vulnerable. I should have let more of my guards down. I should have opened myself up. He even talked to Mika a little bit, how him and Mika got into it about the baby mama. He said, when she said my baby mama, I never corrected her. I didn't feel like I was gonna let her run with that narrative that Jonathan has a baby mama, not the narrative that Jonathan has a wife who has a child, ex-wife who had his child, or the mother of his children, right? Not a baby mama. So he let her run with that. He didn't correct her. He said some women knew that my ex-wife had my child. Again, that shows you where his and Mika's relationship was at. It wasn't that deep if she didn't know. And the first time she heard about it was there with him, and I believe Dr. April was at the table. But again, he's like, I'm not gonna share that because we're not there. So he mentioned that he needs to open up a little bit more, needs to be more vulnerable. He apologized to Alexis. Before he had already apologized to Alexis. Tommy asked him, about the situation him and Alexis at the pajama party, and he said it was boring there, right? It was boring. The pajama party was boring. We needed to do something to spice it up, and so I wanted to get outside myself. So I pulled her on my lap. He said, after I did it, I realized I didn't want to embarrass her, embarrass myself. So I went and apologized to her. She accepted his apology and then moved on. Jonathan, one of those guys where if he could have opened up, so I think Tommy asked the ladies, if he could have opened up, he might have stayed there a little bit longer. And might have showed a little bit more love, or showed some, could have been there with somebody else longer, but he couldn't open up. And they eventually sent him home. Then we see my man Glenn, right? Glenn, not me, y'all. Glenn was on backstage. He's talking to Ko. They come to find out that Glenn went to the same boarding school as one of Koshia's cousins. And then they come to find out that Koshia's cousin used to date Glenn. And Ko later on said, you know what? After I found that out, I'm out, right? I'm done. I can't mess with Glenn because my cousin messed with him. That was like years ago. So I don't know what's the rule is on if your cousin messed with somebody. What's the rule on that? Y'all guys let me know, because this dude said he's been teaching about 15 years. So he's been out of this boarding school at least for 20. So let me know how long it is before you can date somebody else in your family. Not somebody you've been married to, but just date. So Cole says she's leaving him alone. Jonathan and some of the other men talked about sucking toes. Tommy brought that up, saying these men on this season like feet. They like sucking toes. Jonathan said he didn't mind. It was a size 10, size 13. He was going to suck some toes. I showed a scene of Alonzo when Alonzo was been drinking, and he said he was suck toes too. Did the whole tongue movement, whatnot. Chad said he's not only a toe guy, but he also like heels, right? He like a woman in a good pair of heels, and the women from this season had some heels, wore heels, and so. So they into the feet situation, the feet thing. I think Tommy asked them who they think had the best feet. They said Vanessa. Vanessa like, don't point it on my feet, y'all. Don't, cameraman, don't do it. Don't point it on my feet. She didn't want to be embarrassed about the situation of the feet, but nonetheless, Then we see Chaz, Chaz, they got Tommy talks to Chaz. Tommy talks to Chaz, and Chaz said, "Look, man, I wanted to trust the process." Chaz mentioned that he wanted to give everyone a fair shot, right? He didn't want to just pick one person or stick with one person, but he wanted to give everybody a fair shot. And Tommy asked Patrice, like, why did you choose Chaz late? Why? What happened? He said, like, I realized Chaz was prepared for this process. Chaz had a house. Chaz had a decent job. Chaz was waiting. Chaz was putting himself in a position for this process to be successful, right? And she said, that's what I liked. I like to see the fact that he was doing a doggone thing, right? Chaz begins to say, Vanessa told Chaz that he was misleading. Because he had told her from the beginning that she was his connection. And he's like, I didn't mislead you. You were my connection. When I brought everybody else a dozen roses, I brought you 2 dozen, right? I did those things in his mind, he did those things that showed her that I was extra, right? That I was that I was doing more and I was giving you more time, except for the weekend, because except for the weekend at the house, because he gave more time to everybody else than Vanessa. Maybe that was his way of connecting. That was his way of showing other women some love and not giving Vanessa the time that she needed. He called Vanessa a narcissist. He says, you are a narcissist, right? I didn't see narcissistic tendencies, behaviors. Jack was in the kitchen doing some cooking. And she's like, I didn't think she was a narcissist. Well, I didn't see everything on camera, but hey, Chaz called her a narcissist. I love for him to be able to explain much more what narcissistic tendencies did he see for her. And she didn't deny it, right? She didn't deny that she wasn't a narcissist. She just ignored him. So is her not denying it making her a narcissist? I don't know. I don't know if you guys picked that up or caught it, but she didn't say anything, right? She didn't say she wasn't. So y'all just let me know in the comment section below. Is Vanessa the narcissist, or do we see Chaz as being the narcissist? But Chaz told her, he said, look, I knew something was going on because Vanessa didn't like my dog. She told me how to get rid of my dog, or not get rid of my dog. Told me that she didn't like dogs and deal with dogs and all that. Each his own. Everybody's not an animal person, right? Some people are great animal people. Some people love animals. But if that's one of his stipulations, can't knock that, right? Can't knock that if his stipulation is that. Can't knock the fact that she may be fearful, scared of dogs that don't like dogs. It just didn't match up. It wasn't compatible. So you got to take the fact that they wasn't compatible even on the dog situation, and they broke it off. Vanessa then goes into saying that in a text message when Chaz left, that she told Chaz that yeah, I did say in my text to you that we should have voted William off. And we should have voted you off and not William if we knew that you was going to leave. Chaz had all these connections. They were going to keep Chaz regardless, right? He had about, at that time, 4 connections, and there was only like 5 people left. He wasn't going home. And the math ain't math, and mathematically it was not going to take place. But, Chaz was like explaining that he loved his dog, he cared for his dog, and he was willing to give that up for her. They talk about Chaz leaving. Sheena said it did bother her that Chaz left because she didn't know. That was one of her connections. She wanted to know what was going on. And did bother her. Patrice said, he wasn't going to let her in neither when he was crying. That when he was crying, that when he was in the room, that when he was overwhelmed, that only thing that let her in the room was the fact that he was praying. I mean, she said, let me pray for you, pray with you. Chaz loves prayer, all right? I'm not knocking him, man. When you're in a desperate situation or you're in desperate need, prayer, I've always taught prayer changes things, right? Prayers of the righteous avail of much. So guess what? He's in the midst of praying. He opened the door for Patricia, and they start playing, and they start praying. They start praying. All right. Then he called LeBron to the table, to the couches. LeBron mentioned that he tried to communicate to Koshia. Right. They showed their whole video package. He tried to communicate to Koshia after the show, and it just didn't work out. She said she forgave him. I've forgiven him, but it just didn't. It's not going to work out because the way he handled her, the way he treated her, the way that he was reckless with her emotions and her feelings, the way he lied, because she mentioned that prior to getting to the pajama party, they were talking about, hey, we open. We're in a process. Let's work the process. Then she's working a process and he's jealous. He said she didn't want to be with anybody like that. So as far as her and LeBron, they really never rekindled anything because y'all know LeBron was high on Cole, right? He really wanted to be with Cole. Cole was his highest on the list, right? it just didn't work out. That one night, that one behavior, that one scene, that one incident caused him and Coach Shea to go south. And when they went south quickly. And she doesn't want anything to do with him at all. Then we find out that, Tommy asked him about, they showed the vignette of him being dumped by Maya, right? And LeBron was like, I went back to the street for 2 or 3 weeks, right? But one day I got the inclination or got the vibe to give Maya a call and text her, and she answered. I didn't think she would answer, but she answered, and they've been kicking it for a little bit, right? They've been kicking it just for kicking it for a little bit. She answered, and they went out. Then we got into the whole group chat situation, who had what group chat, and this stuff was a mess. So Dom basically shared that there was a group chat, and the men were talking outside of the lounge. Tommy said, what I tell you guys, they're not supposed to be talking outside the lounge. That's the problem with this cast. This cast didn't follow any of the rules, right? And this cast didn't follow too many rules at all. Dating outside the show, talking about each other in the lounge, having group chat situations. This group and this tag, like, it was bad because the rules were broken, right? There was change in which we didn't see on camera, but it also hurt people later on. So they talked about the group chat situation. And then LeBron even pulled out receipts, right? He pulled out receipts when Will was talking about, I ain't say that. So Tommy said, hold on, let me see. And LeBron said, you can read. He said, I've been reading all darn night. Anyway, Tommy reads and says this. He said, we are voting Cole's trifling ace off because she said, because I heard she was talking some stuff to my inside person. We know the inside person was Alexis, right? So Will said, no, I wouldn't say. He said, well, I said it. After you show the receipts, yeah, I said it. Like, dog, if dude has receipts, then my question is like, LeBron, how long is this? Why are you still holding on to receipts? And where did you get? I guess receipts was in the group chat. So he's holding on to receipts of what people are saying in the group chat, and he's using it to expose them or put them down. Whatever the case may be, Will, you said it. If you put it in a text chat, you send it in a group, and it's fair game. So LeBron made a fair game, and so they kind of hushed that down a little bit because the group chat thing got messy, and a lot of people are out because of the group chat. And Tommy kind of said, if people to mind their business and follow their own journey and follow their own love, this season could have been one of the better seasons of Ready to Love, but because people go so caught up and wanted to be last or wanted to be finished or wanted to be here and wanted to be there, it took a mind of its own and became messy. All right, and it became real messy, and people began to see their true colors of who folks are, and we get to see who was childish and whatnot. So, Tommy said, look, they need to stay true to the game. They needed to stay true to the journey, not just to play a game. All right. They still didn't want to play a game. I think this crew and this staff and this team or these contestants, these whatever you want to call, some play games. Will admitted to playing games, right? Some people just wanted to stay around till the end. If you're doing what you're supposed to do and you show your best personality, you'll stay to the end. But we move on. Tommy talks to Mika and Justin. Mika says she still don't want kids, right? They still together. They still going strong. They're moving at their pace, not the Ready to Love pace. They're moving at their pace, Justin says. He said she still don't want kids. Justin is willing to compromise with somebody he loves. He says this. He said, if somebody has 90% of what I asked for, 99% of what I asked for, and that one thing they don't have, am I supposed to let go of them? I'll compromise. I'll be that one guy. I'll change up for them. He mentioned that he had spoken to Mika's children via FaceTime in different situations there. I like Justin and Mika together. They give a different type of energy. I think they're well received. I think they have fun. I think they enjoy each other's company. I think it will progress and move a little bit longer and a little bit further. So it'll be interesting to see how they're doing in the future. But Justin and Mika are still together. Mika's glowing, and they both have used the L word, right? They both say they love each other. They don't have keys to each other's house, but they yet both said they love each other and they're moving in a way that they should go, right? Justin and Mika is the bright spot of this season, right? They're the bright spot of the season. They're the bright spot because they found love. They found each other. And Justin said, man, if Glenn had never gone home, I may not have this opportunity to meet Mika. And so, which is good because now he recognizes that sometimes things are divine order, divine statute. Sometimes God gives us in that realm. He's carving some things out, making some things out for us, and we just got to be in the right place for it. In this case, Justin was in the right place to meet Mika, and so him and Mika have been kicking it strong. They've been hanging out. They've been seeing and just chilling, right? So again, great time, great energy. Mika and Justin are still going strong. They both said the L word to each other. And then Tommy asked, what's going on? He brings everybody out. He's like, look, I got some message for my singles. I got some message for everybody else. I just want anybody messing with anybody. He asked Glenn. Say, Glenn, you find somebody? Cole tells her story about him knowing her cousin. Leyland, said they had a good conversation in the back. I wish I'd have seen Glenn on the show, right? I wanted to see what Glenn could do. Could Glenn be a guy? Could have Glenn threw a monkey wrench in everybody else's plans? Glenn could have messed all this stuff up instead of trying to manipulate this system, as some of the other contestants were trying to do. But they manipulated the system. What Tommy says this, Tommy did not know, right? That Patrice and Will are doing some things. Are they having, at this point in time, having a good relationship, enjoying each other, right? And then you had Vanessa and Dom was dating, right? She said she never really let Dom go. At the end of the show, when Dom was sent home, she still been in contact with Dom. Hey, who would have known, right? Who would have thunk it that her and Dom would be moving on? Who's she ready for them 10 to 12 kids, or whatever he said, 2 to 10 kids that he's trying to have, but they're abstaining themselves. So all in all, this season of Ready to Love was interesting. It was good to watch, good to follow through. Thank you guys for joining with us each and every time we drop the video. If you watch this video, I appreciate you. Give me a thumbs up or give us a bell notification so let you continue to follow us. We're gonna break this. Look, LeBron loves him some Maya. This is what I want to tell you. LeBron loves. You can tell he genuinely likes Maya. He genuinely wants Maya to be his girl, even at the reunion. But if you've been following social media, you know what's going on. It did not work out between LeBron and Maya. It's just one of those things, man. I think LeBron really wants love and he wants to be there, but at the same time, he wants to be on the streets, right? But he said Maya is one. So we know if you follow him on Instagram or keep up with him, they didn't stay together. LeBron did end up taking the pictures down of that he had a Maya. So it's getting heated up, getting messy. Tommy mentioned to the Dallas crew, I wish you guys would like each other. We wouldn't be where we're at right now, right? Separate ends, not talking together, communicating. Tommy said he wished the process would be better for some of them and that they'll have a better process. So he only can say what he says. We'll maybe see a better process coming up later on shortly. But again, that's Ready to Love, reunion part 2. No fireworks, nobody punched each other, nobody hit each other in the face, but it was straight up conversation and straight up dialogue about how they treat each other during the show, how they treat each other off the camera, and how they should be respectful to each other and grow up a little bit, right? This season had the worst fights, the worst everything, in my opinion, right? Should grow up. That's one of the things this season should do. Learn to grow up. They got renewed. If you have not heard, Ready to Love is renewed for another season. So we'll see how that pans out. Hopefully that season is better than this season. Hope you can bring back the novelty of it, or the love for it, or the passion for it, or the people who just want to be there for love, not people that want to be there for a paycheck, not people that want to be there to promote their business, but people that really want to find love. So we'll only see if Ready to Love franchise can do that. So we appreciate you guys. Thanks for rocking with us. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Your thoughts on Ready to Love Reunion Part 2. Leave a comment in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for rocking with us. And you have a great, whatever you watch, it's great night, great afternoon, great morning. I appreciate you. Thanks for rocking with us once again. Subscribe button, bell notification. Peace.